Jammin 98.3, today's R&B and old school. It's Andrea Williams. We're on location at Centers for Independence. It's officially the takeover, and I'm happy to be joined by Heidi Chada. She's the Vice President of Employment Services. She's got more than 25 years of experience leading diverse teams in food service, and her career path and education has actually focused on creating a healthier community through access to fresh food, creating jobs, and helping people reach their career goals. All very important stuff. How are you, Heidi?
I'm doing great today. I hope you are as well.
I'm so happy to have you here. CFI has a rich history of serving people with disabilities and disadvantages. So if you would, start off telling us about the wide variety of services you offer to people of all ages.
Well, that's one of the great things about working at Centers for Independence and receiving services here. For over 80 years, we've focused on talking to our community and what services would help make their lives more healthy and hopeful. So we have services across all age groups. So if you're in need, we probably have a service line that matches up with something that's going to help you improve your quality of life. We have a one-of-a-kind medical daycare center, a nationally recognized behavioral health program, job coaching and placement program for people looking for their first job or for leveling up their career. We also have a food program that provides healthy meals to school and early education programs, like 23,000 meals a day, which is pretty amazing. And we provide a wide variety of in-home services through our home and community-based services. So there's a number of services, and we work with people with disadvantages, disabilities, or challenges in life.
Yeah, well-kept secret, and that's the whole thing. You want people to know about all the outstanding work that you've done so they can take advantage of these programs and services. So you recently underwent a rebranding. So if you would tell us a little bit more about that.
We did. You know, when I came to work here about 13 years ago, I had never heard about Centers for Independence. It just so happened that I was connected through some of the work I did at a local university. And I was like, why do people not know about the people that work here and help our community? So we welcomed a new CEO about 3 years ago, and we underwent this process of evaluating who we are and are we relevant and are we providing services in our community that make sense and answer the questions of helping people find a healthy and hopeful life. So we worked with all of our staff. We worked with some outside agencies to help define who we are. And we started with our staff because they are the most important thing of what we do, right? Without great staff, you can't provide great services.
It's true.
It is, right? And I would say that's true in any business, but especially in the business when your job is to help people grow into who they're called to be, you need to have great staff leading that. So we really focused on understanding people, leading success, and working together. So people leading together to build a healthy and hopeful community. We started there and we looked at our name as well to make sure that defined what we did. And we have such a passion. Like we have tenured staff. On my team, for example, at 13 years, I'm the least tenured leader on my team.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
So there's some amazing committed people. And from there, we looked at what is our mission. So we partner with people of all abilities to advance their total health. And that was a huge advancement for us because we understand that health is about more than just going to your doctor's visits or finding employment or eating the right things. There's so many things that go into total health, right? When you wake up in the morning, you don't say, oh, have I gone to the doctor in the last 6 months? Or it's about how you feel and your outlook. So we really have taken a hard look at our rebranding and our focus on advancing total health, meaning that we'll address people's physical, social, emotional, and financial needs across their life, right?
Yeah.
So that's pretty awesome. We really have been at the forefront of pioneering efforts that integrate healthcare services and social services. And on top of that, we have an intense commitment to trauma-informed service practices, right?
All very important stuff. So you talk about mental health, the trauma care, and then also just those things that you know this community's in need of. So we're so happy that you've been able to join us so that everyone listening is aware of all that you're doing. Is there anything else you wanted to add to that?
I would like to add that our primary vision is really to partner with people in our community, the people that we serve, other non-for-profits, other organizations, to commit to creating a healthy and hopeful community together. And I think if we all work together as a community, we can do that.
Jammin 98.3, today's R&B and old school. It's Andrea Williams hanging out at Centers for Independence, and the takeover is in full effect. We've been joined by Heidi Chada. She's the Vice President of Employment Services here. And Heidi, more recently, CFI has adopted what you call the Science of Hope. So if you would, tell us more about this evidence-based initiative.
I would love to, because this has been one of the joys of my career, that we're all realizing how important hope is, right? I've been working in this field for a long time, probably more years than I care to admit, because of course I'm only 25. But without hope, it's really hard to achieve anything, much less achieve your dreams, right?
Yeah.
Much less creating a healthy and hopeful life for yourself. So it really coincides, focusing on the science of hope, with our new vision of creating healthy and hopeful communities. And hope is the most predictive indicator of well-being in a person's life. And there's lots of research out there to support that. All the research that's been done on trauma, illness, and resiliency has really been focused on or supports the fact that hope is an important part of living a healthy and hopeful life. So aligned with our trauma-informed care practices, we believe that the future of creating a resilient community is teaching people that hope can be learned and it can be measured. So we are on this adventure as we're training all of our staff in trauma-informed practices, not what's wrong with you, but what happened to you, and how do we accept that's pervasive in our lives, and then teaching people that they can learn how to build hope in their own life. And we can measure that as our impact. And what a great thing to measure, that we can create hope in the lives of the people that we serve.
Absolutely. And I think through this pandemic, we've all needed to adopt that science of hope. And we're hoping that we can continue to fight our way past all the things that everyone's been through. And with that said, a lot of people traumatized by this pandemic as well. So it's good to know that you have that initiative in place and that you are open and willing to help people in that predicament. So let's talk about CFI and how you specialize in the integration of healthcare and social services and that commitment to trauma-informed approach to care.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you know a little bit about CFI, we have a whole array of programs, including behavioral health, nutrition programs, providing in-home healthcare services. And the provision of those services is really important, right? But we've realized really quickly through this process that if a person providing those services doesn't understand that a person may have or has experienced traumatic events throughout their life, it's hard to really incorporate any of those positive things into your own life. So we work with our staff to make sure that they're recognizing signs of trauma and how to help people work through that trauma, and linking up the next stage of that is helping people identify what to be hopeful about, how to be hopeful, and how do we measure it. So we understand that the care that we provide, whether it's a medical-based service or helping someone find a job or behavioral health services, if you don't understand that there's a hopeful future for you, it's really hard to be well. So we take the approach that both of those things are equally important in order to live your fullest life.
Wow, great information.
So all of our staff, we're really proud of it. They've all spent a lot of time becoming trained on trauma-informed practices, and we have facilitators and leaders who are launching our program of the Science of Hope, and you'll hear more about that from my good friend John Chianelli in a little bit.
Indeed, and we thank you, Heidi, for stopping by with this outstanding information. Again, we're at Centers for Independence until noon today. And Heidi, before you go, is there a website and or phone number you can give to those who are listening?
Yeah, for those who want to call in, it's 414-937-2020, which coincides with our address at 2020 West Wells. Easy to remember. And you can just look us up at www.mcfi.net.
Heidi Chada, Vice President of Employment Services. Thanks again, Heidi. We are at Centers for Independence until noon today. It is the takeover on Jammin 98.3.